Good morning and welcome to an episode of Montana Mike Grows. It is early morning before 4:30, and I am just out here with the ladies, and I'm starting to notice a few things. I'm noticing the first real big signs of flower, and I'm just wanted to start talking about that with you guys a little bit. Depending on your situation, if you're going to be growing indoors or outdoors, it's going to vary on how you handle your harvest and how you handle your flowering. Um, so this one is definitely showing signs of flower. This was a super crop one in a re-veg. Um, it was inside until the weather was nice enough, and I started putting it in the sunroom, and then from there I put it outside. But we're talking about flowering, and it is shooting nodes. It's look at all these different. We have different nodes coming out of this thing like crazy. I mean, and I don't know, this plant is pretty huge. It's in a, I want to say about probably a 30-gallon pot. Um, but anyway, when going into flowering, you really want to crank up your magnesium, and what that's going to do is the energy is going to give your plant the energy it needs for the so it could, you know, uh, turn the energy um, into that it has for nutrient absorption, and so that and it gives it enzyme activation. Which enzyme activation, if I'm not wrong, the roundabout explanation is it turns like an inactive enzyme, and what it does is it turns it active. And so for the plant, it's going to turn your, it's gonna your enzyme is going to eat like the nutrients that the magnesium, it's going to eat that, and then it's going to provide that energy for your plant. So it's going to turn that inactive magnesium active. um, what else? And then I also wrote some stuff down. You really want to focus on phosphorus. That's going to support your flower. Phosphorus and your potassium. You don't want to. You want to stop your nitrogen intake um, at the first sign of when it starts to bud. Potassium and phosphorus makes your buds fatter and denser. And when you water, yeah, we're going to talk about outside for a minute because that's where that's what's flowering right now. My indoor ones, I have some that are flowering, but those are on a totally different wavelength than the ones out here. But outside watering is going to go pretty heavy. I don't have a lot of these directly in the sun, so they're not going to get a lot of sun. Last year I was moving these things around, and I took up the entire yard, and my son was hardly even able to play. So it was pretty selfish of me, which, don't grow outside of your means. You know, Thankfully I have a large space now, so I'm able to do pretty much whatever I want. As far as being able to grow what I like and what I want. But back to flowering. So when you get to flowering, you're watering. You're gonna want to water according to your plant. I like to water my plants every single day, even if it's just a little bit. Sometimes that can hurt me, but I'm getting it figured out. I'm pretty good at not overwatering my girls because I know how much water they like, and gotten to know them. And anyway, but flowering is gonna be it can be chaotic, it can be amazing, it can be stressful. Last year I dealt with aphids. I had 9 plants outside, and I think 3 of them have aphids, and were basically pretty much I had to trash them. And they looked so good. I actually think I moved them and kept them and grew them out just so I could see how they grew out, but I was not able to keep any of the product off of it. Any of the buds off of it, just because it was so infested with aphids, and I'm just not a person that's gonna wash my stuff. I just don't know why. I don't understand that process. Maybe one day I'll look into it, but as far as that, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. But let's see. Back to flowering. If you're inside, you're gonna have a lot more control. You want to make sure your humidity is turned way. You want a dehumidifier if you can. If you have a humid area, so you don't get mold and bud rot. Um, you want to make sure that you cut off the nitrogen. You want to make sure that the water, if water can get to them, you don't really want water on your buds. So because you guys really need to stick around or see what's gonna happen, because here in the next 2 weeks I'm really gonna have to. What I do is I put a whole tarp, cover this whole area. Maybe I'll put a picture if I can find it in here. If not, you guys are just gonna have to see when I do it. But yeah, I'll have a huge tarp that I have in my garage. I just put it all the way over this whole thing so they don't get wet. So if your plants are about to begin flowering, there's things to start considering, such as, especially in Montana. Montana flowering outside is really rough. I barely make it to the end, but I'm able to do it with the help of luck. So this year I'm a little bit more prepared. Knock on wood. I do have a whole room that I pretty much board off to. I can shove my plants in there if it gets too cold, just to finish them out for a couple weeks to 3 weeks. But it's a real pain in the butt to flower these things out in Montana. One day I just love Montana because I love to fly fish, I love to do all that stuff. So I don't know, maybe one day I'd like to be able to have go to a place where maybe I could grow 24, 12 months out of the year. And it's just hard to find the community here for the outside growers. Here, at least in my town of Great Falls. And I get it, you can't really grow outside. It's hard. I think I'm straying off topic, everybody, and I'm sorry I do that. I think I have ADD pretty bad. But I'm just kidding. But you're right about that. 6:59. Okay. Anyway, back to the video. But when you're flowering, water, the cold, bud rot, bugs, like I said, there's so many different factors. It can be a glorious time, but it also can be a very stressful time. You really want to watch your nutrients. As far as if you're giving your plants nutrients, you probably shouldn't, just give them the stuff that they need for bud, because personally I'm not going to want to have to flush out a bunch of stuff out of my plants, which I shouldn't have to, because I did go organic. I'm still learning a lot with this organic stuff, so my plants did not get as big as I would have liked them to this year. I was dealing with those synthetics, and I love to show this thing off. This was my stock of one last year. As comparison, doesn't even, the root on that thing was huge. And I do enjoy growing a monster plant. I do enjoy it, but I really think the organic way is the right way to go about it. Personally, I have nothing against nutrients. I have Fox Farm nutrients and everything in my cabinet, and I started these outdoor ones with nutrients until I met somebody that put me on to the organic. It's a little intimidating, but yeah. Anyway, I guess this isn't just a flowering video. This is like a rant / just to chop it up in the morning type of thing. What time is it? I do have work today. It's 4:27, so we are doing pretty good. Yeah, but flowering is going to be good, or it's going to be chaotic. But when it's good, it is good. Like afterwards, you have so much trim, you have so much keef, you have so much things to make edibles, concentrates. Just share your product, and just get the feedback. That's what I like to do. I have buddies that they'll come over and they'll try out the organic, and they just, they'll go back home and they'll call me and say it's like night and day. But this is really my first organic grow. But I've known a guy, he's been like a mentor to me, Al. He's really put me on to the organic grow. One day I'd really like for you guys to meet him. But yeah, just like, comment, subscribe. Maybe I'll put a little quick video of some of the ladies inside on. But yeah, flowering's great. Like I said, we are pretty much going to be into flower on this. Oh no. So, there's a nice aerial view. But I think I'm gonna water them and call her good. So you guys have a great day.